When Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo sailed from Navidad on Mexico's west coast, he cruised northward along the Pacific coast of Lower California. On September 28, 1542, Cabrillo discovered what he called a sheltered port and a very good one, to which they gave the name San Miguel. Today, this port is known as San Diego Bay, and this is where our story begins. Cabrillo's visit marks the beginning of recorded history in California. It was also the first contact of Europeans with what was to them the New World. Cabrillo's visit was primarily observatory. Sent up the coast by Viceroy Antonio de Mendoza with his own ship and an armada of 2 other ships, Cabrillo would view the landscapes, make notes of the flora and fauna, and scout for a good place for Spanish settlement. And on this epic voyage into the northern mystery above Mexico, Cabrillo would keep a log of the Indians he would encounter. From his reporting, we can gather some idea of what Native Americans living in or near Temescal Valley, California might have been like in the 1500s. The Indians Cabrillo observed along the California coast are described as being robust people who wore no clothes, and a people who carried bows and flint-tipped arrows. When they arrived in San Diego Bay, Cabrillo and his men found a few Indians who ran away from them. 3, though, remained and received gifts from the visitors. But once night fell, the Indians returned and shot 3 of Cabrillo's men with arrows while they were fishing with a net. The wounds were apparently small, for we are told that relations between the 2 groups got better after that. Another description reports some as wearing deerskins and possibly deerskin sandals similar to those worn in Mexico. Later on during the voyage, mid-October and further northward about the Santa Barbara area, Indians were clothed in skins, tying their hair in cords with little daggers of flint, bone, and wood stuck into the braids. When the ships returned to these Indians at the beginning of November, some were painted and decorated themselves with beads and daggers of bone and stone and shell. Colorful feathers were stuck here and there in their hair, as style and taste dictated. Canoe owners and the leading chiefs wore capes of elk hide or bear skin, but most of the people wore nothing at all. During an especially long and festive party of Spaniards and Indians alike, Indian musicians brought out pipes and rattling reeds. Dancing and feasting began. Weather patterns on the California coast in the 1500s apparently were much different than those we experience today. The Cabrillo record shows a harsh winter on the coast of California during November 1542. The mariner's position was northwest of Temescal Valley along the coast of Monterey Bay. The mountainous coastline south of Monterey Bay was covered with a blanket of snow, which lay so thick on the trees and cliffs that the men called the mountains the Sierra Nevada, or the Snowy Range. This account seems to support the view that California weather conditions of that time were the middle part of a cool, moist trend which began about 1380, reached a climax about 1780, and turned to warmer, drier conditions about 1860 which weather cycle continues to the present.